I'm so disgusted by anyone who thinks that. Right, but you're willing to support a charity that not just thinks that, but like acts on that. It's such a virtue sick. This is so lame, man. So any future charity he's going to do major vetting on, guys. This won't be happening again. The Trevor Project isn't one that I can personally endorse as a Christian. It's going to go by Cops Donuts. That's huge. Great charity. So Gamin4Hope has been in a lot of drama recently over some charity donations and sponsorships and all sorts of stuff. So my loose understanding from what I've seen so far is that Gamin4Hope had a sponsorship, but was donating money to a Christian charity to get people sober. In this Christian charity's like beliefs or whatever, they were like anti-trans, so the sponsor dropped him. And so he's been trying to make amends with the LGBT community, okay?
This video for a couple of weeks now. A gaming company called Wallhack reached out to me. They wanted an ongoing partnership with me, a man of very questionable mechanics. This is a sponsored video. Wallhack decided to drop the sponsorship. Somebody had to have dug deep into that, report it to them, then they decided to do this.
It was me. I'm the reason you lost your biggest sponsor.
How do you pick the charity you donate to? So frankly speaking, I have a list. Next month is the American Heart Association. March is a local one called the Doula Foundation. April is Celebrate Recovery. It is a Christian group. Some people aren't going to be okay with that, but this is the money that I'm earning that I'm sending somewhere, and I feel very comfortable with it. It's a Christian-based group that helps people get through and get out of addiction of various kinds. Celebrate Recovery is absolutely amazing.
Hey Gamin, I really wanted to reach out because I realized you're donating to Celebrate Recovery for April. I looked into their curriculum and according to their words, they treat same-sex attraction as a trauma response that needs to be fixed. It's already classified by many medical groups as a form of conversion therapy, so it's incredibly harmful and dangerous. We admitted that, in our own strength, we were able to change our thinking or behavior, acknowledging God's design and desire for our sexuality. We began to face the root causes of our same-sex attractions. Commit to Jesus Christ and the 8 recovery principles. Form an accountability team. Sponsor accountability partners. Attend a large group. Open share and step study group. Commit to a daily quiet time in the Celebrate Recovery Bible. Or learn about your addictions and compulsive behaviors. Identify triggers. Avoid people, places, and things that tempt your addiction. Understand the root of each core issue you identify and become willing to experience grief, forgiveness, and acceptance. Accept God's standards for sexuality. Okay. Hey, Gamin, I genuinely respect you. I'd just like to clear this up. Any chance I get clarifications here? Hey, a mod told me you sent this. For some reason it wasn't in my message request. I can honestly say I wasn't aware of this. However, I'm not sure. There was another charity I'm comfortable supporting that helps with breaking addiction from what I researched. Unfortunately, if you dig deep enough into actually any charity's background, you'll find things you don't fully agree with. I think there's no current public information to confirm it. Go with what I just mentioned, I'll continue as planned. :D. Okay. Retarded response. I don't agree with going to a sponsor about it, but, you know, you've stood by the charity now. Hey, Gamin, I appreciate you responding, and I hear on the digging deep into any charity point, but this isn't really a case of digging deep. This is well documented in public. The pamphlets I linked are official Celebrate Recovery materials. They produced one titled Same-Sex Attraction, the Problem and Solution for both men and women. The content claims being gay is caused by a lack of love from a father figure, and the unmet emotional needs become sexualized during puberty unless symptoms like not feeling manly, having more female friends, and for women being interested in male-dominated sports, hobbies, and careers. It's exactly the framework shown in the screenshot I sent you. It said real public consequences. In 2022, the city of Medford, Oregon, paused government grant funding to a church because these Celebrate Recovery pamphlets were being distributed there. The executive director of the affiliated homeless nonprofit was eventually fired over it. Multiple outlets covered this. Okay. The pamphlets have since been quietly removed from Celebrate Recovery's national website, but they've never publicly disavowed it. And the churches like the one I linked are still distributing them in 2025. Celebrate Recovery was founded under Rick Warren at Saddleback Church, who supported Prop 8 banning gay marriage and whose church required gay people to repent of their homosexual lifestyle to become members. Religion News Service also reported that churches have been funding people with same-sex attraction, funneling people with same-sex attraction into Celebrate Recovery since organizations like Exodus International shut down conversion therapy. I respect all the research you've done, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to disagree with you and move forward. Disagree with what? Disagree with what? What do you disagree with here? If you can't support my content anymore, that's completely fine. I wish you nothing but the best in life. So, yeah, this I've seen some of what comes up. I didn't follow this closely. I hadn't seen who the person reporting it to the sponsor was or any of these messages or anything like that. Gamin's retarded. This guy's like a fucking idiot. Why is he like defending the charity here? Total moron. Like, you're really telling me there's no other sobriety charity that you could support that doesn't do like conversion therapy? There's no other sobriety charity that you're willing to support.
In the middle of March, a gaming company called Wallhack reached out to me via email. They wanted an ongoing partnership with me. There is a commissionable link in the description below, so if you do decide to purchase any of the products by the end of the video, make sure to use that. You also get a discount of 10% by doing so.
So they message Wallhack. Hey there, one of your sponsored creators, Gamin4Hope, is running a charity fundraiser this month for an organization called Celebrate Recovery. I think you should know what the organization actually does before your brand stays attached to it. Celebrate Recovery, produce official... blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Wallhack decided to drop the sponsorship with no conversation, no warning. Just so you know, Wallhack is a pathetic excuse for a company, and I will no longer be endorsing. I dodged a bullet that they bailed out so early. Pathetic. Celebrate Recovery believes that transgenderism and homosexuality is a mental disorder. I do not believe that at all, and I would never agree with that. I think that's the most disgusting things that Christians...
Okay, so yeah, there's immediate problems here. So I do agree, Wallhack are lame as fuck for dropping him over this. I do agree this other person fucking sucks for going and reporting him to Wallhack. Now, he's going to try and act like, I'm so disgusted by anyone who thinks that. Right, but you're willing to support a charity that not just thinks that, but like acts on that. Like tries to get gay people, trans people into conversion therapy, tells them it's wrong, tells them it's an abomination, and tries to convince them of that. So for you, you can't really act like this is a fucking virtue signal, right? This is a total fucking virtue signal. Going, it's one of those disgusting things Christians do, but you fund them doing it?
Celebrate Recovery believes that transgenderism and homosexuality is a mental disorder. I do not believe that at all, and I would never agree with that. I think that's the most disgusting things that Christians say all the time, and it drives me nuts as a Christian. There's nowhere in the Bible that's going to substantiate that at all. I still support the charity because the charity overall is a net positive on society. There is not a better charity that does better job in getting people sober in this area, and a company broke a sponsorship over that. How are they judging you for something someone else did? That's exactly my point. I would not support Wallhack, and I'm going to come out pretty heavily against them on that. We can just start banning people, man. If you are going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, some of you guys are showing your immaturity.
Hey, want to see a magic trick?
I don't. There are people who are in my team as moderators who
What was that?
Hey, want to see a magic trick?
Surely there is a better pick than a transphobic, homophobic charity. Please pick a different charity that supports equality. Okay.
I don't. There are people who are in my team as moderators who openly identify all letters of the LGBTQIA plus community.
I'm not racist. I have a black friend. The fuck?
And my stance is clear. Every single one of you is human. Doesn't matter your sexual orientation, your gender identity, your religious beliefs. None of that matters. You're human. Period. That's why I'm trying to move on, but I had to acknowledge why I wasn't able to hold sponsorship. It's really gross that a company said any of those things, or that I myself agreed with any of them. If I said any of those things, good on a company for standing for your morals, even if we don't agree. But we're really going to say you're financially supporting this other institution who, on the grand scheme of the world, is doing good things, has this one tiny thing we don't agree with, so you are going to lose your sponsorship. That doesn't make sense. It is a tiny thing in comparison, guys. This is wild. In this grand scheme of life, addictions and breaking those chains off has a much bigger impact on the world as a whole than when people refer to any form of the LGBTQIA plus as a mental disorder. I abhor that. I think it's awful, but you have to look at things in a bigger picture. A sponsored.
Okay, but it's about like you're claiming you think it's disgusting to treat as an abomination, all this shit, but you are funding that being done. You are funding the actual practice of that. Like, it's such a virtue signal. This is so lame, man. It just, like, why dig yourself in with this charity? What a fucking idiot.
dropped me over another company's views. It's impossible to find a charity without a view that you disagree with. It does require people to think beyond the surface. And unfortunately, with today's attention spans,
It requires you to think beyond the surface. You need to think past the surface. You're going, they help with addiction. That's good. That's surface level. The other parts of this are, if someone is an addict who's got, who's in a same-sex relationship, they're going to attempt to convert that person. They're going to attempt to tell that person that what they're doing is abhorrent. Unless this, trans schizo is laid out to you in DMs, that does come with, like, quite a high suicide rate. It's, like, not a good thing to be funding, obviously. And, you seem to agree with that. You seem to be claiming to agree with that. But you want to act like, oh, no, I'm actually thinking deeper about this, man. You don't understand. It's about the utilitarian perspective. Think about the utils of breaking people out of addiction versus being mean to gay people.
on the surface. And unfortunately, with today's attention spans, that's just not possible. Isn't it reasonable for Wallhack to not want to support that after all they give money and then you give it to the company, so it almost seems like an endorsement if they were to continue? That's a reasonable point. I'm going to give you that. Because at the end of the day, I have a huge issue with the fact that we started our partnership together 10 days ago. I was supporting the charity then. So to me, that just screams they don't actually care. This is a virtue signal because somebody mass reported that belief. Somebody had to have dug deep into that, figure that out, report it to them, then they decided to do this. This was a mass report and now a virtue signal from the company. I think they're just trying to make themselves look good. I'm not worried about sponsors. I'd rather not have them if they're going to abandon me after something like that. I don't want them. I'd rather not have sponsors at all. I would rather not have sponsors at all if they're going to abandon their creator, and they should protect their image. And if they think that this is somehow affecting their image, it's their choice. But it was just a weird thing that it's not like they didn't know is my problem. No, I'm actually back to my Logitech stuff. The Corsair peripherals were not good.
Thank you for your response. While I can't confirm the full details, I personally don't know the full extent of discussions that were had. I can say you were not the only person we received a message from regarding this. What I can say, at least, is that we take these messages and comments, like the one we received from yourself, very seriously, take action, investigate further in instances where those we affiliate or collaborate with do not align with our values. Do what we can to avoid instances like this occurring in the future. My apologies for the concern it caused to start with this, and thank you again for your cooperation.
I sincerely...
No one can pay me enough to unmute this. I'm sorry, there's no excuse for my ignorance.
I sincerely apologize. I misunderstood what conversion therapy is. The way that I understood that term, just by the words themselves, was that it was effectively assisting someone in a detransition process.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Which is not true even a tiny bit. And a basic Google search would have taught me that, so it's completely my fault. I am not blaming anybody but myself for this. I receive DMs on a regular basis, completely my fault, which is not true even a tiny bit. And a basic Google search would have taught me that, so it's completely my fault. I am not blaming anybody but myself for this. I receive DMs on a regular basis claiming...
So he deleted this video. He deleted this Twitter video.
Oh my God, no way.
Which is not true even a tiny bit. And a basic Google search would have taught me that, so it's completely my fault. I am not blaming anybody but myself for this. I receive DMs on a regular basis claiming that I'm anti-LGBTQIA plus community, and I'm not. Anybody who knows me personally...
LGBTQIA plus. Bro, nobody says that. Nobody be saying that. You only ever see that typed by the most bed blob deranged losers online. Maybe a super woke person will say LGBT plus. It is just such a virtue signal, man. It's just so transparent. Like, you can't dig your heels in DMs and go, I just disagree. You get everything laid out for you. Literally all of the research is done for you. Everything's laid out for you. You don't have to lift a finger. You could do more investigation if you wanted to and try and figure out whether it's all totally true. But fundamentally, everything's been done for you. You've been given everything. And you've dug your heels in. And now you act like, oh, I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
The transition process.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Which is not true even a tiny bit. And a basic Google search would have taught me that, so it's completely my fault. I am not blaming anybody but myself for this. I receive DMs on a regular basis claiming that I'm anti-LGBTQIA plus community, and I'm not. Anybody who knows me personally knows that, so I largely have just kind of discredited any of those that I receive. I just literally ignore them and move on, because I'm not going to let some random person tell me who I am. That's just not how life works. This other DM that I received from this individual was certainly an exception to that rule, and I should have seen it as such.
So I got blocked, told to get a life and ignored, and banned by you. I gave you statistics showing conversion therapy leads to death, and yet you ignored me. I'm still banned from your Discord. This is cringe, obviously, but I mean, it is correct that, like, calling him out on totally virtue signaling here is just, it's like, this correct. This person's really lame. This person just is really lame, and, you know, contacting sponsors fucking loser behavior.
My jadedness towards that is another error that caused this whole awful situation. I will no longer be supporting Celebrate Recovery, to be very, very clear, financially or otherwise. I think that they've helped people get out of addictions, but knowing that they support this, I can't continue to support them. Now knowing what it is, especially. I will be more thorough in my research with future charities to support, adding a layer to what I already do. I already look at their mission to determine whether or not I align with their mission and whether or not their financials show that they themselves support their mission with the majority of their finances. Now I will be looking for any additional controversies they are involved with, because again, if I had looked at a basic Google search about Celebrate Recovery, I would have seen that. Completely my fault. I own that. I'm going to take that on the chin. And the other thing I'm going to do is allow for you guys to provide much more constructive feedback regarding what charities I support. If I'm supporting a charity like this one was, tell me. And I promise to you that I will be a lot more receptive to that and not be jaded towards the response. The donations that I'm going to do from April's revenue will now be going to the Trevor Project. This is going to come across like a virtue signal. Frankly, I don't care if that's how you see it. I know it's not.
So going to the Trevor Project now instead. Now that's quite a left-leaning charity, isn't it? Like, that's not just, you know, just help gay people a little bit, you know, kind of like a cool LGBT charity. It's actually quite far on the progressive end, as far as I'm aware.
Trevor Project is an organization that helps people that are in the LGBTQIA plus community with the mental health effects that come with being largely discarded by the world. And I think that's horrible that you guys are discarded by the world. Regardless of my religious beliefs, this organization is a very big part of the movement that's helping lower the rates of fill in the blank here, right? I want to say it so that this continues to be promoted in the algorithm. That number needs to go down. I went to several funerals in high school that were a byproduct of people choosing to end their own lives. I don't want that for anybody. It's horrible. There's no getting around that. Thank you for those of you that chose to educate me on the topic. I'm going to continue to push forward so that I can continue to earn more money for the Trevor Project, and any other charity going forward will be much more vetted. Thank you for giving me the time of day to listen.
Wow. So any future charity he's going to do major vetting on, guys. This won't be happening again. After doing some more research, the Trevor Project isn't one that I can personally endorse as a Christian. As much as I'm supportive of people finding help in their time of crisis, I've consequently removed the video from all platforms I posted it on. I'm taking tomorrow off to chew on what charities to support throughout the rest of the year. I do still believe in the mission of being charitable. Just need to be more diligent than I have been in selecting the charities to support. That requires me to change the way I approach this whole effort. I need a day to focus on that system. I appreciate your grace towards me. I'm not a perfect person. I'll never claim to be. I just know the one who is. Wow. Wow. That's Jesus Christ, guys. That's Jesus Christ. Christ is King. Christ is King. So does everyone in this server hate mental health hotlines for marginalized communities, or is it just Mr. Hope? Okay. I will not be commenting on this. Israel super react. I was angry with you, and I apologize for that last message. What do you want me to clarify? I appreciate the apology and switching to the Trevor Project, but it shouldn't be taking my video hitting 50k views for you to care. I came to you privately. I had sources, links, alternatives. You disagreed, blocked me, banned me as a hater, even when I came in with the most good faith intentions. You told me to get a life because I showed you what your charity does to gay people. The reason we're talking right now is because enough strangers saw what you did, saw what you wouldn't look at. I can sympathize with the fact you didn't know what conversion therapy meant. I never needed you to know that term. I sent you a pamphlet that calls gay people broken, lists symptoms of same-sex attraction, tells them to accept God's standards for sexuality. I told you 42% of people put through this attempt suicide. You don't need term knowledge to take that, at least engage with it. You read all of that and disagreed. I mean, this is just true. Unfortunately, this is just true. This person's really cringe, schizo, loser. But that is true. That did all happen, and that is a correct read of how Gamin engaged. And it is pretty shameful. What were you angry at me for? This had nothing to do with your video whatsoever. I had some closer friends whose opinions I value more than a random stranger on the internet. No offense, reach out, and educated. I acknowledged I was wrong and did my best to repair the bridge. You can choose to cross it or not. But either way, I've done my best. What more can I do for you? I messaged you a month ago. If you would have engaged with me, I would have never had to contact Wallhack. To me, it is irrelevant who in the end convinced you. What matters is I tried. It really seems like you're trying to avoid the backlash more than actually apologizing. I truly don't think you'd have ever found this out. If I never got this to get 300k views, I'm not trying to be unfair here, but I feel like you're being really dismissive with the whole, what can I do for you? I'm asking for genuine apologies. I feel as mistreated from the start. You claimed you would take constructive criticism, but no, it's okay. It's embarrassing. There's a good criticism here, but it's totally shameful. Give it a rest. You have the choice to accept my apologies, genuine or not. I know it was genuine, but I can't convince you otherwise. It's up to you. I explained the video as to why the criticism you sent was wrongfully dismissed. I get messages from folks who think that I have hatred towards the LGBTQIA plus community literally every day. Largely speaking, I choose to ignore them and move on with my life. Unfortunately, your messages land in the same category. For that, I apologize because they're not in the same category. That was my error. I feel like more than anything, you were lucky that I got this to be big enough to address before you went through that donation. Glad you decided to go through the Trevor project. That's something I can't deny is a good move from you. But I think you're saying this has nothing to do with my video whatsoever. It's clearly not the truth. In your video, you even mentioned me.
This is going to be the only video that I make on this going forward. I
like.
do want to clarify a couple of quick things. First, I did not actually send money to Celebrate Recovery. I had intended to support them. I encouraged people to send money to them rather than sending me directly any money, but I can't speak for other people. I have no idea what they did. I will no longer be supporting Celebrate Recovery, to be very, very clear, financially or otherwise. But I will say that I myself have not sent a dime to them because of the timing and how that all works. So that worked out well. In lieu of Celebrate Recovery, I will be supporting a group called the Safe Project. They have a very similar mission. They contribute solutions toward overcoming mental health challenges, substance misuse, and the addiction epidemic in the United States. And I definitely will also say that I've learned a lot from this experience in the last little while. I've made plenty of mistakes. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. And I'm going to learn from them and move forward to the best of my ability. If you want to stick with me, great. If you choose to move on, I respect that. I'm not going to hold any ill will towards you. Tomorrow, I'm back on the grind and getting back to business as usual. I'll see you then.
I owe you guys a little bit of an explanation on the Trevor project. I had intended to not say anything about it because I feared that it would create a spiral of things that I would have to answer forever, but I'm going to keep it short and to the point. The primary mission of Trevor project is still something I support. There are some secondary and tertiary beliefs that they hold that to them kind of help their main mission that I just can't support. I'm not going to go into it more in this video. There is going to be a link for an FAQ through my stream and that kind of stuff. You guys are welcome to read through that. The information as far as some more detail will be over there.
Jesus Christ. So, did Gamin have this person as a moderator? It's a user called transfemmfart. Okay, guys. Transfemmfart. Apparently, I guess a Gamin4Hope moderator. Hi, everybody. I haven't told David this. I don't plan to. I don't care. I've decided to step down from my role as moderator. Seeing as how moderation tends to ban people for stating their opinions, this message will likely be deleted quickly. This comes down to a clear difference. Don't agree with his decision to avoid supporting charities that benefit trans youth, like the Trevor Project. There was a multitude of backpedaling that's been done recently. To me, this isn't a disagreement or issue that simply goes away or can be clarified further. There is research suggesting that access to gender-affirming care, including puberty blockers, is associated with significant something among transgender individuals. Some studies reporting a 60-70% reduction compared to those who wanted care but couldn't access it. Because of that, I refuse to continue his role. I understand some people disagree with me on negotiable trans rights here. Four mods step down. Wow. When's that video from?
I'm looking forward to this video for a couple of weeks. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody out there on Twitch and YouTube, regardless of where you are in the world or what time of day it is for you. As usual, I hope you're doing exceptionally well. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be here, regardless if you're watching this live or if you're watching this as a VOD later. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you spend your time here. That said, excuse me, I've got to update a couple of, or add a link, I think, to this stream and next week's stream. Not sure if you can hear my child crying, but before, we have the cancel mob show up. He's fine. He's with my bride. With my bride, we're good. We at least say hello to everyone. Good morning. Arcos, hello. JC, good morning. Dorston, yes, I'm back. Good to see you, my friend. What flavor of Red Bull do I like? And pretty much any of the sugar-free stuff for the most part. I'm so out of the loop from all the drama. What on earth happened now, and why can't you catch a break, my man? Some of it's my own bringing, but I don't know that I really want to go into it on stream, but I appreciate it. Hey, no worries, fire in the air, it'll be fine.
So he's trying to avoid it like crazy, but he does address it. He does address it here, guys.
What's up, Plazies? Good to see you. Yes, I'm an ex-pro. True. Sugar-free or bust, I'm telling you, bro. Appreciate that, Kelby Kane. Let's throw that as a pinned message. Not that anybody ever looks at them anyway, but I'll put it there anyway. But I'll put it there anyway. Sugar-free? That's crazy. That's crazy. Tried Celsius a day ago, and it feels more energizing than Red Bull. I prefer Celsius over Red Bull as well. I'm right there with you. So just so you guys know, you can use !charity to know what's going on in May, because we're in a new month now. So you're welcome to do that. Basically, I'm doing something that I've done in the past, where I will take 10% of my revenue and literally go buy a bunch of local PD donuts and coffee, just to say thank you. I know that not everybody agrees with I know that not everybody agrees with the police, but I think that they are a net positive. So that said, that's what we're doing.
He's going to go buy Cops Donuts. Wow.
So
Great stuff, Gamin. That's huge. Great charity, bro. Really helping those who need it.
got a new mouse pad. Ooh, nice. Yeah, new mouse words. New mouse pads are fun. What's up, Walter? Thanks so much for the 3 months, bro. I appreciate it, man. Jebby probably need to, huh? Play RAM all day. Celsius is wild, man. I'm telling you.
It takes a next level of rape to give things to government workers. That is so real. This guy tips his landlord too. You just know. This guy tipping his landlord every month. Yes, I'm gonna cover Polanski stuff tomorrow. Okay, I want to do a proper segment about him. Well, I'm locked in.
Brenny, again, I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but I appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you for your service after he pays his
How many
rent.
hours will we watch for today? 4. Well, I mean, basically until 12:30 is the plan. No, they haven't stopped it from being a possibility at all. No, not at all. Not at all, Kelpican, you're fine. Dark Boulder, thanks for the tier 1, man. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
His streams do just have like a sad vibe to them, don't they? It's just like seeing a guy who's like just miserable, wasted his life, chopped, 50. He's not even 50.
What's at 12:30?
Like
I'll be playing
legit
Apex
30.
then. Yeah. Oh, wait, there's a scam train. I didn't even notice there was a scam train. W.
Rest in
Is it 4
sad
a.m. or is
baby
that for next
face.
week? Yes. It is next week, to answer your question. Oh, Ghost has some good ones. Yeah, the orange dreamsicle is really good. I also like their Swedish fish one. It's also very good. You started to get into playing Zarya. Any tips? Best thing I can tell you is to just focus on yourself. It really doesn't matter what like hero you're playing. Just focus on your own gameplay. It is the most important thing I could tell you to do. So one thing I really wish that I had figured out a lot sooner. So yeah, there's a Swedish fish flavor of Ghost Energy. It's actually really good. I'm pretty impressed. Good. Yeah. I was out on a camping trip